I'm Scott, and this is the 80 Thursdays Project. So, we are on day 16 of the project, and it is a new year, which I think I said last time, but never mind. This week is being the first proper week back at working on this, and I have spent my day trying to figure out a problem that I have created for myself. So, as I explained before, these levels are round, and that creates a bit of a problem. Most 2D platformer type games have flat levels. Obviously they're flat because they're 2D. They have one axis. You can obviously travel up and down. A lot of the Metroidvanias have very vertical type levels where there's lots of different bits to it, above and below. You can go in all four directions, but for the most part, they're flat. I'm making mine round, which is complicated, which is what I'm discovering. So I've had three kind of thoughts of how to make this work. First one was, so let me explain what the problem is. Because these levels are round, gravity doesn't really work anymore. Because the character wants to fall down on relative to the screen. In this case, it wants to increase or decrease the x-axis, so it wants to go down. However, if this is a round level, I can't just stay stuck at the bottom of the circle. That's no use. The level would be really boring. So my first thought was to get rid of gravity entirely, or traditional gravity, and to make the inside of the circle, so the level itself, basically magnetized, or it would attract the character towards it, basically faking gravity towards the outside of the circle. This I thought would be an easy thing to do, but it's not. The code, I had a quick think about it and a quick look over, and I don't even know where to really begin with this. It's maybe something that could be done in the 3D engine. In terms of Game Maker, I can't figure it out. So that kind of led on to, well, maybe I can attract the player towards, or the character towards the outside of the circle. Maybe I can repel it from the middle. So obviously the center point of the level would push the player out. This again is complicated, and I have no idea where to even start. Now, something I did think of, inspired by another game called Seesaw on iOS, which is really a great little platformer, is rather than the player, as in the real person on the outside, controlling the main character themselves, the player actually will control the level. And so as the player presses right, it will rotate round, making it look like the character is moving round the level, which I thought was kind of ingenious. It solves all of the gravity problems. I can keep gravity as it is. The player will constantly fall to the bottom of the screen, but the level underneath the character will change. There's a way to make it look so that the character doesn't just permanently stay still. There's little tweaks here and there that I can put in to give it a little bit more, to kind of fake the illusion a little bit more. But I think this will be the easiest way to make this game work. So I've been thinking about it and figuring out the little tweaks and what I need to do, and so next week I will actually code this to see if I can get it to work, which I'm pretty confident in doing. And so next week I'll have some more details on that. If it doesn't work, back to the drawing board. That's what the whole process is about. But if it does work, great. I can then start actually making a couple levels and seeing, tweaking the physics and making sure they work within this framework that I want to use. The other thing I did today was to do a little bit more the enemy design. While I was drawing one of the levels, or a base level down here, I came up with a basic enemy type just as a placeholder to put in, and I quite liked it. So I've done a little bit more of a fleshed out version at the top of my sheet here, and I'm going to kind of use that maybe as the base enemy type. I'm going to start alternative designs of this, maybe add a little hat or change the color of it or whatever. I don't know. I think this is a great starting point for the enemy, and I can really develop it from there. Kind of like how in Mario games there are basically two enemy types. You have Goombas or you have Koopa Troopas, and most enemies bar some of the later games, are just variations on those. It's a great way of saving memory and design time, all of which, when I'm by myself, is at a premium. So, that's been this week. The other thing I did this morning was I updated my website a little bit. I put all of the videos for this project on my website, which I'll put a little URL in the description, and you can click on that and go have a look. It's got some portfolio stuff from a while ago, but it puts all my videos in one place. In the blog part, you can see it says 80 Thursdays. So I've been updating that. I want to try and find a way to put my scroll thingy on there. I'm still working the ins and outs of Squarespace to try and figure that out, but I think it can be done. It would be cool then that people could see the actual scroll that I'm working from and give a little bit of context to all my ramblings that I give every single week. So yeah, that's been this week. Next week, back to coding again, and probably some more doodling of this enemy type. Pretty simple. Anyway, that's day 16. Thanks for watching. See you next time.